if you're a grazier and you're growing grass, or if you're a vegetable grower, or if you're a flower grower, one of the ways that you can actually yourself measure the improvement in your productivity, or not your productivity, but whatever it is that you're growing, the quality of whatever it is that you're growing, is to invest in a refractometer that's calibrated for measuring sugars and solids, and it's called Brix meter. Now, they're not expensive, $100 maybe, thereabout, $75 thereabouts, and they're not difficult at all to use. And really, all you need to do, whether it's grass or whether it's a grape or whether it's a vegetable, you simply go out at in the mid-afternoon, 2 or 3 o'clock, and I'll explain that in a minute, the reason why. And you squeeze the juice out of the sap, out of the leaf or the fruit, and you put it on this little prism, and then you hold the prism up to the sunlight, and you can see a reading. You get a reading of how much sort of sugars, solids are in that particular whatever it is that you looked at. The reason why, and I'll go back to that next. The reason why you do it in mid-afternoon is the sugars that are generated in your grasses or your fruits or your vegetables are all a result of photosynthesis. So the best time, if you're going to do this on a regular basis, and I would suggest that as a grazier or as a vegetable grower or as a flower grower, you do this. You pick a time, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maximum amount of sunshine leading up to that, maximum amount of photosynthesis, and you go out with a little notebook and you squeeze some juice out. And a garlic crusher but it needs to be a decent garlic crusher, because the number of garlic crushers I have gone through would keep Aldi's going for years. So get yourself a nice strong garlic crusher, crush the juice out, put it on the prism, and record your reading. Now, there's lots of podcasts and whatever that are out there to show that if you get a Brix reading of even above 6, you're actually starting to show that there's more nutrition coming into whatever it is you're growing. If you can get your Brix up around 10 or 12, then you'll see that you have next to no pest and disease. If you can get it up even higher, then you know that you've got a really nutritious grass or whatever it is that you happen to be producing. And unfortunately, in Australia, we don't, as farmers, get paid for quality. Maybe one day we'll get paid for quality. And if that's the case, then the regenerative, biological, organic farmers, they will win out hands over because of the quality of their produce. But you can actually work out how good your grass is. Is your grass improving with your new management practices by simply going out, once a week, once every 2 weeks, and take a reading with your Brix meter? And that's something that you really, I would encourage all farmers to do, because it's so easy to do, and teach your children. It's a lovely way of being involved in farming. When, as a farmer, we've initiated our regenerative agriculture sort of journey, one of the first things that we see, and it doesn't matter whether one is a grazier or a broadacre farmer, the first thing you see is a huge reduction in input costs. And so that is the immediate. There was a farmer in Western Australia took his input costs from $3 million to $29,000. This is significant, because as farmers, we can't control once our product leaves the farm gate, we can't control what we get for it. So as a farmer, to be successful and to have a future, we have to reduce our input costs. And we can do that with regenerative farming, because what we're doing is, by reducing our input costs, it means that, and at the same time, if we're in a biological system, what we're actually doing is improving our productivity. So by improving productivity, what we then take to the farm gate is an increased production, increased volume, or increased number, or whatever it happens to be that we're selling. with reduced cost. So this is a really very quick turnaround that you can see with your bottom line. Then you'll find with over time, as you'll find your costs will go down further and further, and your actual time that you have to spend on the property doing things reduces as well. So you have more free time. So in terms of just the psychology from a farmer's point of view, you can see less input costs, greater output, less time spent because you don't have the pests and diseases either on your crops or in your animals. Your animals are healthier. So very rapidly you will see this improvement in your whole quality of life at the same time as your farmer's improving. You'll see more grass. You'll see that you have more pasture for much longer if it's a dry spell. You will see if you're a vineyard, you've got better higher quality wine coming off. If you're a macadamia grower, you'll see you're getting many more nuts and they're a better quality. What we'll see when we immerse ourselves in this new paradigm, and it shouldn't be called a new paradigm, but it's certainly not mainstream yet, but it's becoming more mainstream, is as we improve or as we allow the soil food web to improve the quality of the soil and therefore the quality of our plants and therefore even the quality of our animals, what we see is less of these weedy species, because if we're in a perennial system, we've changed our soil to fungal dominated, therefore the weedy species that we worried about in the past are no longer a problem. The other thing that happens when you have a very strongly functioning soil food web, you have a lot more nutrients coming up into the plants. When you get a lot more nutrients coming up into plants and a lot more photosynthesis going on, you increase the sugars, all of the good nutrition that's in the product, whatever it happens to be. And therefore, once you start to improve, and this is Brix, it's called Brix, the sugar, the method of measuring the sugars and solids in plant material. Once you increase the Brix of your fruits, vegetables, pasture, you don't get pests and diseases as much because they don't cope with those high sugars. So you minimize those pests and diseases, and therefore the necessity for pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, etc., just disappears. Therefore, less cost. Then, once you improve if we talk about a pasture, you improve the quality of your stock because your stock are eating better. And you have a look at this diversity in your pastures where you have medicinal plants, not weeds, medicinal plants. And animals will self-medicate if you allow them to do so. And therefore, your requirements for medicating your sick animals goes away. So another saving. The animals are happier, the animals are healthier. And so if you look at the food chain and say, well, okay, we grow an animal, we respect the animal while we have it on our property, it becomes part of the food chain, but it becomes a very valuable part of the food chain because of its quality. So the whole thing is a respect starting from the soil through to our product at the other end. I've been a farmer for 48 years. And I guess the thing that keeps me going and makes me respectful and makes me so grateful that I still have the opportunity to live on a piece of land is the feeling when you go out and you see vibrancy. There's vibrancy. There are insects, the flowers, the animals are content. You walk out on a pasture and it's spongy under your feet, and you know that the microbes are happy. So I guess for me, And I think for most farmers who really love their land, they find that there's a peace because nothing is in conflict. You've taken the conflict away, you've taken the absences away, and you've put back what nature wanted in the first place. And you can feel that. And it comes and it really makes your heart sing.